Can you believe it? Sure you do. It'll be day 7, week 4, if I have that calculator right. It's Tuesday, September 17th. Scaling. I spent a lot of time going through switching basics. We talked briefly about spanning tree protocol and rapid spanning tree protocol, and then we spent the day doing the labs and I got it done. Tech Club next Tuesday, 9:30, and that will be in MH216. Mace City, volunteer IT. I'm going to do a little research, see if it's a project we can do as a class. Okay, we talked about layers, which everybody should be pretty good at. So what we're looking for here, I want to be able to review the idea we break them into segments, put an IP address on it, and create a packet, and then data link frame, and we put on the MAC address. So that was important in our discussion here. Looking here at the diagram probably won't do us a whole lot of good. But initially what we talked about was how a PC, gets an IP address, needs to locate something, does an ARP, and it creates that ARP table in which it matches an IP with a MAC, and then that MAC address is going to allow it to move through, and we emphasized how these ports learn MAC addresses. Okay, so if you remember, everybody was there, we talked about how this port, as an example, is going to learn all these MAC addresses from over here, and then eventually, it could learn all these. Well, then we have a problem, because if it's learning these, and then these will be repetitive, so it will learn those too, so your MAC table is going to become unstable. Okay. Another issue, I'll use blue this time, is when we send something, if we have a scenario in which we can create a loop, the frame actually could create a loop and not get anywhere. We have a third situation. Let's say this PC wants to go up here. Without spanning tree, it could send a frame this way and this way. This one could be a little slower getting there. Now the PC gets the frame twice. Another issue. So we can send bridge protocol data units. This is management information. We can send that through the switches to calculate here and figure out a way. I think what we did was we can make that an alternative port, and then we have RIP ports. RIP ports here going up. That's an alternative port. So if this port goes away, let me use another color, then we can go that way. There's way more detail, but that gives us a start on that. So in the scenario here, we were just looking at our setup here and trying to understand how we end up getting all those MAC addresses inside the switches, understanding the default, and how it works. Okay, so our goal is to look at something like that here in the near future. We finished up the class. I believe students, you guys finished the lab, and so we can research the lab on Thursday and use that as a learning tool to move into. There's another lab that uses some Cisco proprietary information dealing with spanning tree. That's it.